Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajwa and I hope this video finds you well. If you are new to this place, please consider subscribing, and to all my returning subscribers, welcome back and thank you so much. So this video is not meant to disrespect anybody's preference, taste or budget. I have a collection which is made up of about 50% Middle Eastern fragrances, and they come in handy because they are quite affordable, and you can use them as testers for fragrances that you would usually not come across easily, or the ones that are quite pricey. So sometimes it's a win, it's a major win when you get some of these because they smell amazing. But at other times, you just get yourself into something which you wish you wouldn't have, bought. So in this video, I have about 6 fragrances which I consider, cheap smelling, and I use this word cautionary because this can be a little, controversial, because affordability or cost of fragrances, is quite subjective. So what can be expensive to me can be cheap to someone, and vice versa. But these ones, I think they are all below $25 or $30, so I think they are affordable. They fall to me what I consider the affordable range. So for the purpose of this video, I just call them cheap fragrances, which also smell cheap. I have these fragrances and I enjoy them from time to time, but I don't think they are the best smelling or the best bang for your money. The very first one I have here is one of my earliest introduction to a Barakat Rouge dupe, and this is Barakat Rouge 540 by Fragrance World. It is still very popular, people, I smell it a lot whenever I go out, but unfortunately to me it smells quite cheap. And I'm saying this because I have come across other dupes of Barakat Rouge which are considerably much more, blended, smell nicer, leaves a very nice sillage and everything. But this one, as soon as I enter a room and I smell it, it's sort of rough, it smells cheap, it doesn't smell well blended, it doesn't smell sophisticated. I mean, for the price that you get for this one, which is around $10, you really cannot complain. But I think there are better alternatives to Barakat Rouge, which I would recommend. For example, Anna Beard Rouge, or even Opulent Mask, if you want Barakat Rouge with a bit of a twist. It gives me a struggling Barakat Rouge. I would use it as a room spray other than anything else. So that is the very first one. The other one that I have here is one that has always been raved about, and I honestly do not get the hype about this fragrance. I have this in my collection, but it's not my first choice, when I'm even looking for an everyday fragrance or something to just, liven my mood up. And this is Yara by Latafa. I don't know, seriously, what is the hype about Yara? If you have this, no disrespect, but it doesn't really give me anything. It doesn't give me that marshmallow, strawberry marshmallow cake thing that people refer to this one. It really doesn't. It is very light. The scent is not like that bad, but I guess it gives off this cheap smelling synthetic strawberry sort of vibes to me. It will not be my number one recommendation for anyone who is looking for a gourmand scent. To me, this is not a typical gourmand scent. I think there are other Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret strawberry flavored strawberry scented fragrances I would choose over Yara, but it's quite a cult favorite for the reason I'm not too sure. I even prefer the Yara Moi over this one. It's a bit cheap smelling to me, so that is my second fragrance. So the next one that I have here is one which is also a cult favorite, and I don't know, I sometimes it baffles me when some fragrances are really hyped up, but this one smells so cheap. This is Ragba, it is supposed to be this vanilla incense combination, but all this one gives me is saliva. It gives me that incense with a bit of that saliva sort of thing, which to me can sometimes be a throw off to me. It's raved about, people love it, it's on people's top 10 list and a whole lot of lists, but I don't know. I would much prefer Ragba Wood Intense, which has that licorice and a bit of smoke to it. I much prefer the Ragba Wood Intense to the original Ragba. So instead of going for the Ragba, my recommendation would be the Ragba Wood Intense, which I much prefer. It is more sophisticated. It comes off a bit more classy, a bit more blended. But this one, there are so many elements about this fragrance that, gives me some very mixed feelings, some very mixed reaction. But for those who like it, I try to sort of understand, but I still don't really get it. So that is my the third fragrance, which I feel smells a bit cheap. Then the next one I have here is one that I have had for over a year, but I think I've featured it in a video just once, simply because I feel this is too synthetic, cheap smelling. And this is Anna Beard I Am White. It's supposed to be a dupe for Eva Pura or Keki, Tiziana Terenzi's Keki. It's nothing that I would recommend. I think there are other alternatives like Latafa Confidential, which I would much more recommend over Anna Beard I Am White. This one is very synthetic, cheap smelling. I get a lot. It gives me synthetic fruit cocktail. There is nothing to it doesn't smell fruity or floral. You don't get any fruity nuance from this. All it gives me is a synthetic concoction, which I do not appreciate. For over a year that I've had this fragrance, I've never even really featured it on this channel, purposely because I really do not like this fragrance. It smells quite cheap to me. And the next one I have here too is one that I've also had for over a year. When I started my YouTube channel, I got myself a few fragrances, but this particular one, I tested it and I've never even spoken about it. And this is Fragrance World X Room Wonderwood. It is a very cheap smelling synthetic oud sort of feel. It smells very cheap. It reminds me of Latafe's Blue Oud. That I'll put a picture of it somewhere here. It reminds me of that, which is like an aquatic or a marine blue oak mossy sort of feel. But this one gives me something like very synthetic, very cheap smelling. I don't think I will enjoy this on anyone, not on myself, not on any other person. For a year, it's been sitting down. I don't know what to do with it. I don't even feel comfortable enough to gift it to someone. So it's just been sitting here because it smells quite cheap to me. I've never seen anyone talk about this fragrance, but it's been on the market for quite a while. But I don't know. I think a lot of people can sort of attest to the fact that this one is cheap smelling, and I don't even know what it is duping. But this one, Fragrance World, this one is a major feel to me. It smells so cheap and a bit, very synthetic. The last fragrance I have here is by Fragrance World, which is a house I adore because they give you some great deals when it comes to their fragrances. You get like a very quality product for a very affordable price. But this one didn't, really work. It didn't get the magic touch from Fragrance World. And this is Rose Midnight by Fragrance World, which is supposed to be a dupe of Midnight Rose by Lancome. This is a very generic, watered down, watery rose scent. It is very cheap smelling. It doesn't last. It doesn't project. It doesn't give off anything perfumey. It is not something I would recommend if you want a rose scented fragrance. I would much prefer to recommend something like Shalina or Shalina Exclusive by Fragrance World, which is much more a quality. No, Shalina and Shalina Exclusive are from yes, they are from Fragrance World. Yeah, they are from Fragrance World. I would rather prefer to recommend those ones than this particular one. This one doesn't do much. It doesn't project. It smells cheap. It doesn't last, So for those reasons, I don't think I would recommend Midnight Rose by Fragrance World. I believe there are others in your collection that you would consider as cheap smelling, you know, and let me know in the comment section. I hope nobody is offended by this particular one. It's just for me to, you know, just express myself when it comes to these and give off my recommendations according to how I feel about these fragrances. Thank you so much for your time here, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate that. Thank you, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye.